The Magic of Markets is a very interactive simulation that sets out to answer the question, why do people trade? The activity is designed to illustrate a complex marketplace in which goods and services are traded. The experiences give the students the opportunity to investigate the conditions that encourage or discourage trade among individuals. For this simulation, you'll need one brown paper bag for each student and a large number of small, easy-to-exchange items. We used items from the dollar store, but don't worry, you don't have to break the bank to make this activity a success. A less expensive way would be to use a large variety of small candies. Stock up during Halloween when candy's on sale. Other things like small boxes of raisins, school supplies, stickers, library passes, hall passes, even answers to a quiz work well. Be resourceful. Once you've done this activity once, you can be on the lookout for items to stockpile for the next time you run the simulation. The important thing is to have a large variety. Prepare the bags ahead of time by putting one item in each bag, and divide the bags into 5 or 6 groups, marking each group with a different letter or number. Mix all the bags together in a large box or a trash bag. Start out by posing the question, why do people trade? Why do people trade? Why do you think people trade?
To get something better.
To get something better. Why else might people trade?
Because it may be something they need.
Maybe to get something they need.
They're unable to make it themselves.
They're not able to make it themselves. Record the students' ideas on the board and explain that these are hypotheses, and our activity today will provide information and experience with which we can test these hypotheses. Okay? So you'll notice in front of you, you all have a bag. This is a gift. Randomly distribute the bags and tell the students not to look in the bags until they're instructed to do so. Be very clear that what is in the bag is theirs. Don't skip that part. If the students don't believe it's theirs, or they think you'll take it back later, it changes their behavior. Property rights are an important part of this activity, so define them well up front. Have the students look at what is in their bag without removing it or showing others. Keep it hidden. Just look in your bag, take a peek. Then have them rate their satisfaction with what's in their bag with a 1 to 5 rating system. Let me demonstrate a 1 through 5, okay? If you look in your bag, and can I borrow your bag, Elizabeth? Thank you. Okay, this would be a 1. Okay, that would be a 1. Okay, this might be a 2. That's a 2. This would be a 3. Okay, this would be a 4. And this would be a 5. Yes! Okay, so 1 to 5. 1 to 5, you're going to show me with fingers what is. Poll the students by having all the 5s raise their hands, all the 4s, all the 3s, and so on. And keep a tally on the board of how satisfied they were in each round. Ask the students to remove the items from their bags and move to the area of the room that you've designated for their group. If you have an A on your bag, we're going to ask you to move to this section of the room right over here. If you have a B on your bag, you're going to move to this section of the room right here. Remind them that what's in the bag is theirs, and they can do with it what they choose. They can trade it, not trade it, open it, eat it, divide it up. They could trade just a part of it, and so on. The only condition being that they can only interact with the people in their group. Okay, go to your spaces.
Unless you're my letter.
Let them mingle and interact with their group for a few minutes, and then ask them to return to their seats with whatever they now have in their possession. Okay, go ahead and head back to your seats. Head back to your seats. Once again, ask them to rate their satisfaction with what they now have, even if they didn't trade. It's important to make sure that you count everyone in the tally. Record the tally in a different color marker this time. Okay, we'll start back here. Conduct 1 or 2 more rounds depending on the size of your class, each time allowing them to trade with more people. So for example, you could have groups A, B, and C together and groups D, E, and F together in the second round. In the final round, make sure the students are allowed to interact and trade with anyone in the room.
With anybody in the room. Okay?
That's to help the less fortunate.
After each round, record the tally in a different color. From your tally, students will easily be able to see how overall satisfaction increased from round to round, as there are far more 4s and 5s and far fewer 1s and 2s at the end of the activity.
Our satisfaction in the room went up. It increased from round to round. Did the goods get better? Is that what happened here?
When you debrief this activity, use the experiences of the students, the exchanges they made, and the results recorded to highlight the big ideas. First, there are no costless trades. To make an exchange, they had to give something up. What they gave up is the opportunity cost, and what they gained is the benefit. Second, people trade because they expect to gain, and for this reason, trade creates wealth. Trade moved the goods to those that valued them most. So even though the stuff didn't change, the well-being changed as the stuff moved to the people that valued it. As the rounds progressed and students had more opportunities to trade, even more wealth was created. Make sure you recognize that the creation of wealth doesn't guarantee that everyone will be wealthier, but rather the overall level of wealth increases. Use a student that didn't trade because nobody wanted what they had to illustrate that point.
Who else didn't trade? Ashley, you didn't trade?
Yeah, no one likes good and plenty.
Nobody likes black licorice, good and plenty candies. Did anybody offer to trade her? No, there's pretty much a consensus on.
Finally, there are important institutions or rules of the game that are necessary for wealth creation to take place: voluntary exchange and property rights. Remind them that you emphasize that what was in the bag was theirs, and also that nobody was forced to make a trade. Therefore, people only traded when they perceived it to be in their best interest. If they'd been forced to trade, they wouldn't have seen the same increase in satisfaction. This is a great opportunity to invite your students to watch for the role of institutions as you continue your study of economics.